People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. The pediatric COVID vaccines now in country. New approaches to tackling crime. Sandals gives back to Gambia primary students. And in sports, Shawnee Miller-Weibo celebrating a gold medal performance. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. The COVID-19 vaccination drive continues. Welcome to the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. Good evening, I'm Jiminita Swain. Thanks so much for joining us. For the first time in history, the Pfizer COVID vaccines will now be available in country to children ages 5 to 11. Over 20,000 doses arrived this afternoon at the Lynden Pindling International Airport, thanks to several leading health organizations. Desmond Sanders has more.
24,000 doses of the pediatric Pfizer COVID vaccines arriving in country this afternoon on British Airways. The vaccine's another arsenal in the COVID fight. Children as young as 5 now eligible for vaccination. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis says the arrival of these vaccines were weeks in the making.
I made my first intervention to the world at the UN when I indicated to all leaders present, particularly those of the producing country, that they are not safe until we are all safe, particularly the small island developing states like ours, which welcome millions of tourists each year. And then at COP26, I continued to cry, and I developed a relationship with the President of Colombia, whose Minister of Health is on the COVAX board, and that laid the foundation of what we see the results of here today.
The doses were supplied by a COVAX facility through the Pan American Health Organization. Minister of Health, the Honorable Michael Darville, applauding the nation's chief for clinching the deal. He's even more grateful that the vaccines are now available for children just in time for school.
Many families have been asking for it. We believe that it will play a pivotal role in the opening of our schools and the expansion of the kids coming into the next semester. These are pediatric doses, and so there has to be consent from the parents. And so there is a very robust protocol that is currently in place that we will be able to do this seamlessly, where the parent is directly involved, where the vaccine can be administered at any one of our vaccination sites, including schools, with the relevant guardian at the time the vaccine is administered.
The pediatric vaccines will be distributed throughout the country beginning this Thursday at several clinics in New Providence. The shots are all voluntary. Health professionals now making this appeal.
We will start with all of the polyclinics, and South Beach actually will go live on Friday because that's their regular vaccination day for the COVID-19 vaccines. Doctors Hospital has also said they're going to partner with us as well. So the vaccines are going to be made available through Doctors Hospital. And the private pediatricians, their offices, they've also contacted us.
Parents can take advantage of not only getting their children vaccinated with the COVID vaccine, but also with their regular vaccines. Because at this time now, we're also beginning to increase our vaccination administration in our children who are preparing for school.
The government's vaccination campaign started last year, and since that time, over 100,000 persons were vaccinated. This latest vaccine arrival furthering government's vaccination effort.
Children get very ill from this infection, and the fact that they can be vaccinated now will prevent serious illness for them and perhaps fatality.
I'm Desmond Sanders for the Bahamas Tonight.
Just 23 new COVID infections recorded on the latest dashboard from the Ministry of Health and Wellness released today. 21 of those cases here in the capital and 2 on the island of Inagua. The total cases countrywide now stand at 36,568. Of those in hospital, the count now at 53, with 1 on the intensive care unit, the others listed as moderately ill. Active cases now at 429, with 16 recoveries on Friday. Well, the Ministry of Health wrapping up surveillance measures against the monkeypox disease. The World Health Organization recently declared it a global emergency and surging cases in more than 70 countries. Acting Chief Medical Officer is Dr. Philip Swan.
So what we're going to do on Monday is have a meeting just to make sure that our other levels of preparedness are in place, meaning that our treatment modalities, like have enough testing supplies in the country, as well as arrangements with the border control so they understand what to look out for. About 2 weeks ago, we did some training with the healthcare providers and the hospitality industry, about 200 persons, just to tell them about what monkeypox was and what to expect and how to report it to the National Surveillance Unit if there was a problem.
Well, the monkeypox virus is transmitted through close physical contact, which can include skin-to-skin contact, exchange of body fluids, and transmission via respiratory droplets at close range. Pan American World Health Organization representative for the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, Dr. Eldana Boson, encouraging the government to maintain its surveillance measures.
It's not spread in the same way either. It's through direct contact. And so we do not anticipate having to have the same kind of rollout of vaccine. It would be much more targeted to persons who have been in contact with persons with monkeypox. So what is going to be important is that the country keeps up its surveillance so that it can identify when they have cases introduced and can therefore reach out to get whatever clinical treatment, whatever vaccine may be required at that point in time.
In other news, homicides continue to dominate the headlines this week. An 18-year-old was shot to death, another victim was stabbed, and in instances like those, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, is hoping to curb the crime problem with the help of officials from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
The Vision 2040, it's pointed out that we have to move with socializing people properly. We're looking at programs to address what we call youth at risk. And so currently, Lieutenant Commander Delvon Duncombe and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force are looking at a transition program to track young people moving from primary school to high school who may be off course, with a view to getting them into diversionary programs to try to get them back on course, and then tracking them from junior high school up, seeing have we redirected them, are they still on the path they were on, and if they are, then we will have to increase the intervention on that.
Well, he explained how at the sidelines of the commissioning ceremony for the chapel at the Bahamas Department of Corrections Friday, Minister Munro shared why the current violent behavior needs to change.
The approach, if you would have looked at it, is we talk about reintegration here, we talk about rehabilitation here. That's a concept that you have departed from the norms that we expect of you. So stabbing people, that's not acceptable. Shooting people, that's not acceptable. Once you are now caught, you are brought here, and they call it program you. We have to program you now to be a responsible citizen, because clearly in your upbringing to that point, you didn't get it. You didn't get that you shouldn't be stabbing people, you shouldn't be shooting people.
Hoping to avoid the path of crime are a group of youngsters that are on the path of a second chance program created by officers of the South Central Division to give school students an opportunity to turn their lives around. Today, as a part of their summer session, they participated in a tour of Clifton Heritage Park. Officer in charge, Dr. Chaswell Hanna.
This morning, we are starting the summer session of our Second Chance program. The Second Chance program is an initiative we have at the South Central Division, also known as the Grove Division, where we brought young people who came into the police station under arrest for various offenses. And rather than giving them a police record, we offered them a second chance. They enrolled in a program. We had them being involved with positive activities such as drill, deportment. We had classes on conflict resolution. We did a lot of in-house things at the station to just have positive engagement and time with these kids.
Chairman of the Clifton Heritage National Park, Christopher Saunders, on the importance of initiatives such as this.
here at Clifton, we're really the intersection of two important parts of our heritage here in the Bahamas. One, the Lucayans lived out here, and then unfortunately this was also a slave plantation. Both important, and we're glad that we're able to partner with Second Chance Opportunity program to make sure that we can help develop the young people here in society, but also try to get them interested in history, archaeology, and the like. The tour will take them on the entire breadth of the park, and hopefully we can get people interested, and that's really what we're trying to do out here at Clifton, to get people interested in heritage and respecting it in the society.
Still to come in the weekend edition, an update on repairs to a primary school in the Gambler community. Details of that and other stories after the break.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy. Or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
I ain't going crazy. I just ain't going nowhere. Streetside Pizza is officially open. I outside waiting till they come back in the morning. I ain't going nowhere. The authentic Italian pizza location. Streetside Pizza located East Bay Street.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Thanks for staying with us. The Bahamas has an estimated $300 million worth of assets in blue or marine-related carbon credits. The country is rich in mangroves and seagrass beds, which are optimum for filtering out harmful carbon. Agreements in the international carbon market and the Paris Accord stipulate that carbon market funding can be used to support programs that either plant or protect trees or plants that trap carbon. Senior scientist and policy analyst at the Bahamas National Trust, Dr. Anselino Davis, explains more.
Their businesses generate an amount of carbon based on how much smoke they put out, how many trees or plants they have to use in their work. When we as scientists go out into the environment, we can measure an acre of seagrass and we say how many seagrass rhizomes and leaves they have, and then we can use that to gauge how much carbon can be trapped in that seagrass environment over X amount of years and how stable that is.
Well, Davis adds that maintenance is key in building a stable blue carbon market.
If we know that that seagrass stays there and stays healthy, then we can put that into a carbon market and others will pay us for that protection. But at the same time, if we don't have enough data, if we don't have management and people in place to protect that habitat, then we actually cannot maintain it in the carbon market and it will not be stable. And so people will be less likely to actually pay us for that carbon.
With school repairs underway across the country, officials at the Gambler Primary School are optimistic that the new preschool will be ready to reopen and works completed on other classrooms will wrap up as well. Educational officials have confirmed as much. School principal Dolores Ferguson explaining student populations have been impacted during the upgrade of the campus.
Before they demolished the preschool, because it was a trailer, we had 159 students. But upon the demolition of the trailer, 2 years ago, let's say, parents began to pull out their children because they thought one and a half years, which should have been sufficient to have that completed. But I am believing that once it is completely finished, because it is finished, it's just the finished work, and you and I know that finished work takes a long time. The landscaping needs to be done, and the little ones cannot step down from the porch. You have to have stairs there, and that preschool must be joined to the grade 6 building that is also under construction.
Mrs. Forbes is looking forward to welcoming students back at the beginning of the new academic year.
The government has said that the preschool is going to be ready to open in September, and so is the grade 6. And we say hallelujah, because grade 6 has been under construction for 3 years because of some delays. So parents, we are believing that parents are going to send their children back. So presently we only have 129 students. But those parents who pull back, I believe they're going to bring them back, because you and I know Bahamians love new things, new facilities, and they like to be the first to christen, so we know they're coming back. So what we have done in the meantime, we have advertised using a flyer.
Well, over at Gambia Primary School was where you could find members of the Sandals Foundation, the outreach arm of the all-inclusive resort. A little more than a dozen workers got together to provide lunch and school supplies to students yesterday. Public Relations Officer Renee DeLeon talks about the importance of the initiative. We also spoke with Chef Thomas Rackley, who prepared the meals.
So, you know, it is summer, schools resume in September, and we wanted to be able to assist in any way we could, even to give people a start, to give some supplies to the students. And because we have what is called, we have a partnership with Pack for a Purpose, so we're always getting donations and so on from our guests. And we have these items. We wanted to go back into a school, go back into communities, and really just give back to the students. So here we are today at Gambia Primary School. This is one of the schools that the Sandals Foundation has been supporting over the years.
The lunch we prepared today is a barbecue chicken, peas and rice with market vegetables consist of broccoli and carrots. These drives mean a lot to us, giving back to the communities, because inside the school not everybody has. So this is an enjoyment for us, moving forward, helping people, impacting lives and communities.
The team members passed out lunch and school supplies to about 40 youngsters participating in the school's summer camp. School principal Dolores Forbes could not have been happier.
Community partnerships are always important for small schools like Gambia and Adelaide, because we depend on the partnership that we would have forged with Sandals over the many years to help us with motivating teachers and students, incentivizing everyone. And I understand before my era, 10 years principal, that you would have donated the playground and you would have done some other donations of resources. And so it is so important not to become discouraged that you as school leader do not have the monetary funds. When you do your networking, your outreach, you are able to get those persons who have the influence to encourage others to give. And that's how we survive at Gambia Primary School, and motivating teachers and students and the entire support staff.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all of our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Over the Independence weekend, various vendors at Portia Smith Dock came together to host a showcase. Their sole goal is to restore Portia Smith Dock to its former glory.
The outcome and the goal from this event is to show that Portia Smith is now unified. Portia Smith stands together, solidarity together, and they are looking forward to revamping, re-energizing, and rebuilding Portia Smith.
This event has been held in years prior, however, has been halted in recent years due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
And this is an event that has not just started today. This is an event that started from 2018 under the formal name of Archie's Concracking Contest. They had an event in 2018, they had an event in 2019, and then 2020-21 was the pandemic year. And now we're back with under a new team, the Extravaganza, Portisky Extravaganza.
The hosts of this event are grateful to their sponsors, supporters, and all those who played a part in making the event a success.
This committee is excited to getting Portisky back up and running, and we want you to know that Portisky vendors are now together. They're unified. They're working together in harmony and peace. It's not a two-union thing. It's the vendors thing.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Georgia O'Bain.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday sports, everyone. As if there was ever any doubt, Bahamian track and field superstar Shawnee Miller-Weibo adding the 2022 World Athletics 400-meter title to already impressive athletics resume. Running out of lane 3, the 20-year-old Miller-Weibo would run the perfect race and finish with the goal in a world-leading time of 49.11 seconds. She surged ahead on the backstretch and was in control of the race, coming through the first 200 meters as she made up the stagger on the DR's Fiordeliza Cofield. The only threat left was Dominican Republic's world leader, Marildy Polino, in lane 6. By the time Miller-Weibo maneuvered off the final curve, she was in complete control as she switched into another gear on the home stretch to separate herself from the rest of the field. Miller-Weibo, coming off her world indoor title in Serbia, has now won every global medal in the 400 meters, adding to her back-to-back Olympic crowns in Tokyo and in Brazil. The World Junior Championship title she won in Canada in 2010, and the World Youth Championship title she won in France in 2011. The win also helps the Bahamas continue its streak of winning at least one medal at every championship since 2012. The nation's chief among the many voices currently echoing the praise of Bahamian track and field superstar Shawnee Miller-Weibo. In a statement, the Prime Minister, Yomo Philip Davis, saying he joins Bahamians everywhere in congratulating Shawnee on winning the gold, and this latest World Championship is unique and significant not only for Mrs. Miller-Weibo, but for the Bahamas, because she not only made history, she is the only female sprinter to become World Youth Champion, World Junior Champion, Olympic Champion, World Indoor Champion, and now World Champion at 400 meters, adding that Mrs. Miller-Weibo was the most accomplished female quarter miler in athletics history. He added that he's personally inspired and that the government's resolve is strengthened to ensure that sports and sports tourism as an integral component of the Orange economy becomes a significant pillar of the national economy, adding that they owe this to the youth, the cultural community, and the athletes. They will continue to make us proud through self-denial, pain, personal sacrifice, and patriotism, all to the advancement, benefit, and development of the Bahamas. Also weighing on the performance was Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag, when the statement said the two-time Olympic gold medalist added another jewel to her crown. He was honored to have witnessed such an historical feat in person, congratulated Miller-Weibo on her major accomplishment, adding she is indeed a stellar athlete and a great ambassador for the country. The Bahamas is indebted to Miller-Weibo. In more news from the World Championships, the Bahamas women's 4x4 team is expected to compete today in the heat. Megan Moss, Tanisha Anderson, Giovanni Valcourt, and Janae Ambrose were slated to run, but team officials revealing that several of the team members fell ill with flu-like symptoms. Sean Miller, assistant coach of the World Championship team, gives us this update.
I'm here to report on the ladies 4x4 team for the World Championship. Unfortunately, we had to withdraw the team due to medical reasons. Shortly after the mixed relay, some of the members, the females from the team, started to get ill with flu-like symptoms. We had, I would say, an outbreak, and most of the ladies were willing and ready to go. What they did was they waited until the last minute, which is today, before we withdraw because they were trying to get better, but upon the final doctor visit, he reported and he scratched the team because the team was too ill to continue. It's a great loss for us, but the safety of our athletes come first, and we'd also like to thank the ladies for the 4x4 for giving it such a grand effort. Thank you.
Tough news for baseball fans as the Marlins' chances of making a postseason run were dealt a tough blow yesterday as All-Star second baseman Josh Chisholm Jr., who's been out since late June with a lower back strain. It has been revealed that Chisholm suffered a stress fracture in his lower back. The timetable for a return is around 6 weeks. In 60 games this season, Chisholm has proven himself as one of the most electric players in the game. He's hitting .254 with .860 OPS, 10 doubles, 4 triples, 14 home runs, and 14 RBIs. And that's been a look at sports. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
A hot day across the capital, but it's time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jimenita. A hot day it certainly was, and right now we are at 88 degrees with a few clouds floating around. The relative humidity, 65%. The winds are out of the east-southeast at 13 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,019.4 millibars. That is 30.08 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the islands this evening, 86 degrees in Marshall, Babico, and Green Cove Key. Freeport also reporting 86 degrees in the Berry Islands, 87 in Allenstown, Bimini, 87 also in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 86, 87 in Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. In Otterstown, Cadallan, San Salvador, and Rumkey, they're also reporting 87 degrees. Georgetown, Exuma, 85 degrees, 88 in Ryegate Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, McWarner, 86, Acklands, 86, Matthewtown, Inagua, 86 in the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight through Sunday in the northwestern islands. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 11:45 tonight. Another low tide at 11:31 tomorrow morning in the central and southeastern islands. Also through Sunday, easterly flow 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags are in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands through Sunday. And in the tropics, nothing out there to report. We still have those tropical wave tracing the tropical belt towards the west. Sahara dust in place along with the strong upper level winds, and that means they will be suppressed over the next few days. Satellite picture, however, showing high pressure now in control of the water across the Bahamas. In the extreme southeastern part of our country, though, there's a little trough in there that could provide 1 or 2 showers during the course of tonight. Partly cloudy with a brief shower or two, very possible later on tonight with a low temperature of 79 degrees. And tomorrow, looking at mostly cloudy, a bit breezy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area, 88 degrees for your high temperature. Extended weather forecast, we're going to get some showers and thunderstorms right into Monday, and that's going to be due to an upper level troughing. We expect to work its way across the northwest Bahamas, but that should clear out of the area by Tuesday afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're going to keep you very toasty once again with those 90s taking us right into the middle of the week. So once again, you're reminded to keep yourself hydrated. Jimenita.
Thanks, Basil. And that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.